9 ICSE biology classes. So children, in our previous class we studied about the cell, right? So we studied the cell organelles, and we also studied about the plant cell and the animal cell, right? So already we have discussed about the cell organelles like endoplasmic reticulum, ribosome, lysosome, nucleus, right? Vacuoles, then the chloroplast. So all these are the cell organelles which are present in the animal cell as well as in the plant cell. Now today we will move to the types of the cell, right? So already in our previous classes we studied, right? So depending upon the number of cells, right, the organisms can be divided into unicellular organism and the multicellular organism. Now today we will move to the types of cells, right? So here depending upon the structures, the cells can be classified into two types. Those are, one is the prokaryotic cell, right? So already I think all of you aware of the term prokaryotic, right? And second one is eukaryotic. So depending upon the structure, the cells can be classified into prokaryotic cell and the eukaryotic cell. So children, first come to the prokaryotic cell. So prokaryotic cells, it means that in these cells, the nucleus is not bonded by the nuclear membrane. What is that? It means that in these cells, the nucleus is not bonded by the nuclear membrane. See children, already you studied about the animal cell, right? So in the animal cell, at the center you are having the nucleus. The nucleus is present at the center, and this nucleus will be surrounded by the nuclear membrane, right? And due to this nuclear membrane, this portion is called as what? Cytoplasm, and this is called as what? Nucleoplasm, right? So here, due to the presence of this nuclear membrane, right, we can see this part as a cytoplasm and this is as a nucleoplasm, right? But in case of the prokaryotic cells, the nucleus is not bonded by the nuclear membrane. It means that there is no differentiation between the cytoplasm and the nucleoplasm, because if the nuclear membrane is present, then only it will differentiate, right, as a cytoplasm and as a nucleoplasm. But in prokaryotic cell, the nucleus is not bonded by the nuclear membrane. So there is no differentiation between the cytoplasm and nucleoplasm, right? So such type of the cells in which the nucleus is not bonded by the nuclear membrane is called as a prokaryotic cells, right? And these prokaryotic cells are present in the lower organisms like bacteria and blue-green algae, right? Example is bacteria and blue-green algae, right? And even in the mycoplasm, in these organisms, the prokaryotic nucleus, or these are prokaryotic organisms, or we can say that they are having a primitive. Primitive means what? Not very well developed. They are having a primitive nucleus, or you can say that no true nucleus. Remember the word? They are having a primitive nucleus. Primitive in sense that it is not well developed. Understood? See, when I am saying this one, nucleus is not bounded by the nuclear membrane. Okay, then the question arises that whether the nuclear material is present or not, because in the animal cell or in the plant cell we studied that in the center the nucleus is present, right? And in the nucleus we are having the chromatin network and the nucleolus is present, right? And this chromatin network will condenses and forms the chromosome, right? And on the chromosomes the hereditary units are present. Those are called as genes, which are of DNA and RNA. So here DNA or RNA are the genetic material which is present in the nucleus. Now in prokaryotic cell, if the nucleus is not bounded by the nuclear membrane, then what about the nuclear material? Yes, the nuclear material is scattered in the cytoplasm itself. Children, tell me, this is the which diagram it is? Tell. This is a structure of bacteria, right? So already in our lower classes we studied this one. So this is what, so you can say this one as the cytoplasm or you can say also the protoplasm, right? And here see, the nucleus is not present. It doesn't mean nucleus is not bonded by nuclear membrane, right? And here see, this is nuclear material. Children, tell me what is this one? This is what? Cell wall. Okay. And this is what? Cell membrane. Yes. Okay. And this is the DNA, or you can say this is the nuclear material. And this nuclear material is present into the cytoplasm. Whereas here, where the nuclear material is present, due to the presence of the nuclear membrane, it is present inside the nucleus. Whereas here, the nuclear material or the DNA is scattered in the cytoplasm itself. And such type of the nucleus is called as a nucleoid. Okay, such type of nucleus is called as what? Nucleoid. So remember this term, right? In the prokaryotic organism, we will not say that nucleus is present. We will say that nucleoid. Nucleoid, it means that here the nucleus is not bounded by the nuclear membrane and the DNA or the genetic material is scattered in the cytoplasm itself. Such type of the nucleus is called as nucleoid. Right, children? So these are characters of the prokaryotic cells. Let me tell you one more time. What do you mean by prokaryotic organisms or a prokaryotic cell? So, in these organisms, the nucleus is not bounded by the nuclear membrane, right? The genetic material is scattered in the cytoplasm itself. They are having a primitive nucleus, or we can say that no true nucleus is present, and such type of the nucleus is called as nucleoid, right? And here along with this one, some these like structures are present, and these are called as a ribosomes. These are ribosomes. So children, you must know the structure. This is the cell wall, this is the cell membrane, right? Inside this one, this is the cytoplasm, this is the DNA, and these granular or the spherical structures are there which are called as ribosome. And tell me, what is this? Yes, this is flagellum. This is flagellum. So this is the structure of prokaryotic cell. Now come to the second type, that is eukaryotic cell. So children, already we studied about the eukaryotic cell. So the plant cell and the animal cell, right? So what do you mean by eukaryotic cell? Yes, in eukaryotic cells, the nucleus is bounded by the nuclear membrane, right? The nucleus is bounded by the nuclear membrane, right? And that's why we'll have the differentiation of the cytoplasm and the nucleoplasm. And already we studied in detail about the eukaryotic cell. That is nothing but the plant cell and the animal cell. Now let's see the difference between the prokaryotic cell or prokaryotes or eukaryotes. Prokaryotic cell or eukaryotic cells. So tell me the first point. What is the first point you are going to write? Already you know that here. Which type of the nucleus is present? Here, no true nucleus, right? No true nucleus, or you can write the primitive nucleus is present. Whereas in case of the eukaryotes or in eukaryotic organisms, the prominent nucleus is present, right? And in the prokaryotic organisms, only the single membrane is present, right? Here only the single membrane is present, only the cell membrane, right? Whereas in case of eukaryotes or eukaryotic organism, there is a double membrane. Which is that double membrane? Tell me. Double membrane. Which are those one? Yes, it is one is cell membrane, right? And another one is what? Nuclear membrane, right? Because nucleus is bounded by the nuclear membrane. Whereas here, there is no question of the nucleus, right? Here, already one point, you know that the nucleus is not bounded by the nuclear membrane, and nuclear material is scattered, okay, or DNA is present in the cytoplasm. So what do you call for this such type of the nucleus? Yes, it is called as what? Nucleus. Okay, so what you are going to write here? Write it by yourself. Now this is going to be your homework, right? What you will write here? The nucleus is bounded by the nuclear membrane, right? Okay, so next we will move here, the fourth one. In the prokaryotic organisms, the membrane bonded organelles are present. This is very important, children. Here only the membrane bonded organelles are present, right? What do you mean by membrane bonded organelles? Can you give the example for this one? Yes, those are mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, nucleus, right? Lysosome, because they are having the membrane, they are always having a double membrane, right? So membrane bonded organelles are present like endoplasmic reticulum, right? Lysosome, mitochondria, nucleus, all these organelles are present. Whereas here in, just go back and imagine the structure of bacteria. Did all these structures are present? No, right? So here the membrane bonded organelles are absent. Here the membrane bonded organelles are absent. Right, children? Okay, so here these are present and here these are absent. And one more point that you need to remember, okay, in prokaryotes, right, the The ribosomes are also scattered. Okay, they are present inside the, they are scattered in the cytoplasm, like that, right? Remember? Okay, so they are scattered in the cytoplasm. Whereas in case of eukaryotes, where these ribosomes are present? Yes, remember here, this is what? Cell, this is nucleus, right? What is this? Tell me. This is what? Endoplasmic reticulum. And what is present on the endoplasmic reticulum? Here the ribosomes are present. So tell me, what is the location of the ribosome in the eukaryotes? So ribosomes, either they are present on the cell organelles or scattered in the cytoplasm. Okay? In eukaryotes, either they attached to the endoplasmic reticulum or they may be scattered into the cytoplasm. Whereas in case of the prokaryotes, they are scattered in the cytoplasm. So these are the differences between the prokaryotes and eukaryotes. And this is very important. So it can be asked for the 2 marks or the 3 marks. Now we will move to the last part of this lesson, protoplasm. So this term, okay, the term protoplasm was coined by the scientist Purkinje. He is Purkinje. Okay, he coined this word the protoplasm. The word protoplasm was coined by the scientist Purkinje, right? And there is another scientist who proposed the protoplasm doctrine. Okay, so doctrine. So according to this protoplasm doctrine, all the living cells are made up of the living materials, right? It is nothing but the protoplasm doctrine, and it was given by the scientist called as a Schulze, right? The scientist called as Schulze, right? Now, the importance of the protoplasm. The importance of the protoplasm. The importance of protoplasm. It was given by the another scientist called as Huxley. So it was given by the Huxley. Now, what do you mean by the protoplasm? So protoplasm, it means that everything in the cell, everything, whatever present in the cell, everything is the protoplasm. Everything is the protoplasm. What does it mean that? See children, it means that here when you study the eukaryotic cell, right, we will study in the center the nucleus is present, right, and in between this cell membrane and this nuclear membrane, what is present? A thick viscous fluid is present, right? What do you call for that one? We will call this as a cytoplasm, right? And inside the nucleus there is another, a jelly like substance is present, right? Like this one, what do you call for this? Viscous liquid. Yes, it is called as nucleoplasm, right? So this is cytoplasm and this is nucleoplasm. Now, what do you mean by protoplasm? Protoplasm, what I told, everything in the cell is a protoplasm. So tell me, what will be the protoplasm? See, the cytoplasm plus or together nucleoplasm called as protoplasm, right? It is what? Protoplasm. Okay, together the cytoplasm and the nucleoplasm, it is called as what? Protoplasm. Understood? That's why everything in the cell is a protoplasm. If it is present between the cell membrane and the nuclear membrane, this protoplasm is called as cytoplasm. Okay, and if it is present in the nucleus, right, what do you call for that protoplasm? It is called as nucleoplasm. So when together. Cytoplasm and nucleoplasm is called as the protoplasm, and this protoplasm is the site for all the life activities. All the life activities are carried by this protoplasm. Now, next we will study about the chemical nature of the protoplasm. So, chemically, this protoplasm is composed of, chemically it is composed of 35 elements, right? How many elements are present? So, more or less there are 35 elements are present in the protoplasm. Like, it may be carbon, it may be hydrogen, it may be oxygen, it may be nitrogen, it may be sulfur, it may be potassium, it may be calcium, right? So, like that, there are 35 elements are present in the protoplasm, and these elements, they combine in a proper ratio. See, these elements, when they combine in a proper ratios, what does they forms? They forms a compound, right? You guys have studied in your chemistry, right? When the elements will combine in a proper ratio, they forms the compound, right? So these elements, they combine in a proper ratio and forms the compounds. Like, which are those compounds? Like, they may be carbohydrate, proteins, then fats, then fatty acids, then they can also form the glycerol, right? And glycerol, and they can also form the amino acids, right? Then nucleic acids like DNA and RNA. The DNA and RNA are nothing but the nucleic acids, right? Like DNA and RNA. So all these compounds are formed by the combination of these elements. When they combine in a proper ratio, they form these compounds like carbohydrate, protein, fat, fatty acids, right? Amino acids, DNA, RNA, along with some of the inorganic salt, right? So this is the chemical composition. Here I want to mention one more point. See children, as long as these compounds are present in the protoplasm, right? As long as these compounds are present in the protoplasm, they are giving a place, they are acting as a media to carry all the life activities, right? Only when if they are present in the cytoplasm. If they may be separated, if you want to separate it and study them, then these compounds do not existed. It means that they do not perform any life activities. So it is impossible to study them separately because they do not have the independent existence. So these compounds, they do not have the independent existence because they support all the life activities only when they are in the protoplasm, right? And that is the reason that, this is the reason that it is very difficult, to study the chemical nature of the protoplasm, because ultimately this protoplasm is made up of all these compounds and you cannot study these compounds separately. They do not have the independent existence. So it is difficult to study the chemical nature of the protoplasm. Now, lastly, we will move to the functions of protoplasm. Yes, let's see what are the functions. So already I told you one of the function of the protoplasm. What is that? Yes, it gives a place. It gives a place for all life activities. It gives a place for all life activities. Okay, so it is a site where all the biochemical reactions will be takes place, right? And secondly, it also help us for respond to the various stimulus. It also help us to respond for various stimulus, right? It means that the stimulus, it may be due to touch, the stimulus like touch, it may be light, right? It may be gravity, or it may be any chemicals, right? So it helps us to respond. It helps us to respond for various stimulus. Now, lastly, the word comes cyclosis. Okay, cyclosis. So here, cyclosis, it means that it is the streaming movement of protoplasm. Right? What is cyclosis? The streaming movement of protoplasm, which, right, which ensures the even distribution, even distribution of substances in a cell. And this streaming movement is called as a cyclosis. So remember this word. What do you mean by the cyclosis? So cyclosis is nothing but the streaming. Streaming is what? It continuously rotating. The streaming movement of the protoplasm ensures that all the materials, right, all the materials should be equally distributed throughout the cell, and this movement is called as cyclosis, and these are the functions of protoplasm. And this completes your lesson. Okay, so children, let me just take a quick revise. Okay, so here I am not going to help you, you are going to help me. Okay, just tell me, what is this? Yes, tell me. It is a cell membrane, right? And here what is present? Yes, it is what? Nucleus. And what is this? Yes, this is nuclear membrane. What is this? Nucleoplasm. Yes, it is chromatin network. This is nucleolus, right? Then tell me, okay, what is this? Yes, it is endoplasmic reticulum. Children, the identification is must. You must know all these cell organelles. You must have to identify. Okay, these are endoplasmic reticulum. Now see what I will do. So these is some granular structures are present on the endoplasmic reticulum. Then what do you call for such type of endoplasmic reticulum? Yes, it is rough endoplasmic reticulum. And if it is smooth, if ribosomes are absent, then what do you call? Okay, what do you call? Smooth endoplasmic reticulum, right? And so along, ribosomes either present on the endoplasmic reticulum or they may be scattered like this. So these are also what? Ribosomes. Now tell me, which is this structure? Yes. Yes. What is this? This is mitochondria, right? Mitochondria is what? It is a powerhouse of cell, right? Now, here at this point, so more or less near to the nucleus, okay, there are some flattened sac-like structures which are stacked one above the other with the vesicles. What do you call for this structure? What is this cell organelle? Yes, it is Golgi apparatus, right? Then one more structure you are having like this one. So these are the enzymes which are present here. Digestive juices. What is this one? Yes, it is lyso. It is what? Lysosome. And what do you call for the lysosome, children? Yes, these are called as the suicidal bag of cells, right? And along with this, there is another important thing which is only present in the animal cell and absent in the plant cell. Tell me, what is that structure? Yes, it is centriole. You can draw like this also, or sometimes you can draw like this also. Okay, so what is this structure? This is centriole, or it is a centrosome. Centrosomes are made up of the centrioles. So this structure is called as a centrosomes, which is present near the nucleus. And these structures are not present in the plant cell. This is very, very important, children, because in the 10th standard we are going to study more about the centrosomes. So just understand, centrosomes, they are present only in the animal cell and they helps to regulate and to initiate the cell division. Whereas in case of the plant cell, it is not present. Okay, so these are the organelles which are present in the animal cell. Whereas in case of the plant cell, we guys know the same is present. Only the difference is what? This is cell membrane. Okay, and here at the outer region we are having the cell wall. Okay, so this is the cell wall. Inner to the cell wall there is a cell membrane, but here a large vacuoles are present, and due to the presence of the large central vacuoles, the nucleus is present at the periphery. So same here also, the endoplasmic reticulum is present. Okay, here the ribosomes are present, or they may be scattered. Lysosomes are also present. Okay, and this is mitochondria, and the lysosomes are also present. But here in the plant cell, what else is present which is not present in the animal cell? Yes, it is a chloroplast here. So here the chloroplast is present, right? So like this one. Okay, so here the chloroplast is present. The vacuoles are present which are absent in the animal cell, right? And here centrosomes are present. No, here centrosomes are absent because it is a plant cell, right? And here the Golgi bodies are also present. So all the cell organelles is present. Here only cell wall, vacuoles are present, right? And the chloroplast which is absent in the animal cell. Here cell wall is present, here the cell wall is absent. So like this we also studied the difference between the animal cell and the plant cell. Okay, so this completes your chapter or a lesson, children. So along with this one, the PDF will be sent to you. So you need to write the exercise part. Okay. So children, note down the homework. So you have to write the difference between the prokaryotic cell and the eukaryotic cell, and also write the difference between the animal cell and the plant cell. And you have to study the table 1.1. So in your textbook there is a table they have given in a table form, right? The table 1.1 from the textbook. So you studied thoroughly. There they have given the number of the chromosomes, right? So in human beings The number of chromosomes are 23 pairs. How many pairs? 23 pairs of the chromosomes are present. In the same way, they have given the number of chromosomes for the different animals. So study it thoroughly and properly. Thank you, children.